Bum, bum, bum. Doctor's orders on the Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff YouTube channel every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, unless we announce a change. We've not missed a week yet. Hopefully, you guys have been here live, caught the replay. We appreciate it all. And speaking of we, my name is Dan. I am a co-host of this channel, this stream, this world of beard stuff, and I'm just a beard enthusiast. I'm passionate about all things beard related, and I love helping getting the word out about this company. This company is Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff, and the person that's next to me here is the doctor himself. This is Nick himself. He is the co-owner. Shout out to Jill. She is in the chat. You guys will see her with a little blue wrench next to her name, and she is unbelievable. We could talk. We could do a whole maybe in the future we do a whole stream dedicated to talking about Jill. I think
we should.
I think that could happen and should happen and would be very simple and would probably like kind of open some eyes to people. So
I really like that idea. You know, I'm going to say that I love it. And I'm going to say super sarcastically that I know Jill just loves that idea too.
Oh, all of the attention and spotlight and
totally Jill's thing.
We'll put up a ton of pictures the whole time and oh yeah, she said, "Oh dear."
Oh dear.
And I pitched it with a serious like actual idea, but also knowing Jill and knowing how much that would make her skin crawl but well, and with all that to say, you guys, unbelievably well-deserved. Such an amazing person, especially over this last week. We are just a week out of Command's Corner, and the amount of orders, the amount of customer service things. I don't even talk to Jill about a lot of these things, but I get to see some like stuff behind the scenes and numbers, and I see like refund process and all this stuff, and Jill's name's always attached to it, and it just seems like she just handles everything like an absolute boss, and I mean boss.
Oh, she's killing it. And it's so funny too, because it's like when she first started kind of taking things over, you know, something would come in from somebody and she'd say, well, I have a few things for you downstairs. Like I need a couple of things. And I'd say, okay. And it'd be like, how do I respond to this? Like, what do you want to do about that? And how do I do this? And I don't want to say the wrong thing to this person. Does this sound okay?
Mm-hmm.
And now that used to be like 4 of those a day. And then it turned into like 2 a day. And then it turned into like a few times a week. And now I get like one of those like a month.
Love it.
And it's like, so she literally, and now it's to the point where like she'll want me to do something. And she starts like kind of rattling off how she wants me to do it. And then she's like, oh, wait a minute. Sorry. You're the founder. I get it. Do it the way you want. And it's like, no. I was like, yeah, keep it coming.
And as someone,
how do you think I should do it?
Right. And as someone who hears from everybody, anytime someone interacts with Dr. Nick's and they know me, they always tell me about all of the interactions, all the products. The customer service feedback that I have is literally 100%. I've never heard a complaint. I've never heard anything other than, dude, they went above and beyond. Jill is amazing. Jill is so kind. Jill is understanding. Jill makes me feel like I'm her only customer every single time. And that's not common. I had a conversation with a consumer last night who was like, hey, I want to let you know about some feedback about a business. And I said, can you share with me like what happened? And they were like, yeah, this wasn't good. And essentially it was on both sides. Somebody had a package. It was delivered back to the post office of the company. And so something got damaged. They returned it to the company, and that was on a Saturday morning. And the person reached out and was like, hey, I see this tracking went, and they're like watching it, you know, like a hawk. They're like, I see this tracking went back to your company. What happened? Why didn't you inform me? Blah. And the company's like, hey, we just got it in this morning. Apparently it broke. We'll get you a new one out first thing Monday. I apologize for the mishap with USPS. We just don't have any control. And then the person fired back, why isn't it out today? What's going on? Essentially, like, I should be refunded for this and I should get a product. And I'm like, to be fair, man, I gotta say, I don't know if it was handled the best way on the consumer side of things, but
if it's a Saturday, like,
and I literally went into an explanation. I said, this is a single owner, single employee company. They own and operate and run everything. It's on the weekend. They have a career in a completely separate field, and they're a new company too. I said, this isn't Amazon. I literally said, this isn't Amazon. Yeah. This isn't Target. A little perspective could go a long way. And I just want you, I'm not saying you have to do anything, right? Consumers can think whatever they want. Speak with your wallet, speak with your mouth, but just a little bit of perspective about this person and what they're going through on this side. And it wasn't their fault. I mean, he's like, well, that's defensive for them to say that. I'm like, well, it's not when it's true. It's not when it's true.
That's actually, I have a bone to pick with that statement that people make though, about like, that was really defensive, right?
Yeah.
There is a place where someone can react in a defensive way that's inappropriate, right?
Right.
And you
Oh,
can act
absolutely.
defensive, and that's annoying.
Yep.
Um, but I also feel that sometimes people say things to people that are very attacking. And when that person responds, defending themselves against that attack,
Even
people
calmly.
say they're being defensive.
Right.
It's like, well, no shit. What do you think I'm gonna do?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I used to get that. There's someone that used to be in my life that used to love doing that, coming at you with all kinds of hateful stuff, and then you'd kind of defend yourself against it, and they'd be like, wait, I can't interact with you when you're being defensive. It's like, well, I can't interact with you when you're being attacking.
Uh-huh.
I
Yes.
don't know what to tell you.
And so I hear those things on a very regular basis. Oftentimes, insert user error, ridiculous perspective, awful. I've never had that with Dr. Nix. And again, that's saying a lot because I'm saying these companies are in the right. These companies are okay. These companies are fine. But Dr. Nix, and especially Jill, who is doing so much of the customer service on the emails and everything, it just seems like it's above and beyond every single time, no matter what, even if it costs the company money. Jill's thinking long-term, customer for life, thinking about just making sure they can do whatever they can to help the people. And man, just absolute shout out to Jill.
She's killing it. And the fact that you've never heard that actually does kind of surprise me, just because of USPS, right? I mean, there's a big part of our process that we can't control. So that just shows that we're doing a good job.
Now, I will say this. You say that you can't control. You're right. But you can influence, and you have.
Oh yeah.
I've said to you, separate from this, Nick, there's something about your local post office that is special. And because I deal with so many companies, there are some companies that just have bad local post office. They throw it in the wrong packet, in the wrong bin. It gets shipped off to Vegas when it should have went to Michigan. Like, all this stuff happens. Yep. Yours is freaky fast.
It's pretty damn good.
Freaky deaky fast. And it's probably full of amazing employees.
It is.
But there's a little, if there's any company owners out there, this is a little bit of free game for you. Nick, what would be, when I say you can't control it, but you do influence it, how do you influence that process for the consumers in a beneficial way?
Oh man. Well, we make sure that the people handling our packages, handling your packages are fans of ours, just like you guys are. And so the way we do that is we bring them presents. We bring them. I mean, heck, I go in there, they're wearing our shirts. Sometimes they have our hoodies. The two girls that are in there at the front all the time, and this guy, Scott, they live right down the road from us. They're huge fans of what we do. And they get excited whenever we bring in multiple big bins of stuff. Because they're like,
Command's Corner last night.
Sale. Did you do something on YouTube? Like, what'd you do? Tell us about it. And they'll literally, I brought in, after Command's Corner, we had to wheel in a big cart with a bunch of bins because I got them in all at once, and I dropped them off over there because we just didn't make pickup that day. And so I was, bringing them over, and I go in and I was like, hey, Jess, do you have a cart that I can use? I got a big bunch of boxes. She's like, oh, we don't have let me just go get you my cart. I'll be right back.
Aww.
So she goes in the back and she gets me her cart, and it's clearly like her personal plastic cart that she uses, like her cell phone's in it, her lotion's in it, and like her gum is in it, and like in the little tray in the front. She's like, you can just take that, bring it on back. So I go out to the car, load it up, come back, and then the other girl that's working there, mid-sentence with a customer at the counter, literally goes, hold on a second, and puts her stuff down and walks around to the back, and she goes over and puts her arm around the other girl. She's like, are these guys growing up? What are they doing? Are you guys did you do like a big event? She's like, oh, I love it when you guys are growing. This is awesome.
Oh my gosh.
So they literally get together in groups and talk to us, and they love what we do. They have our stuff, they use our products, they wear our clothes, and we make friends with them.
It makes a massive difference because I hear people say things like, I put my order in yesterday and it got here today. That doesn't happen anywhere else. I hear that there have been people in this chat personally that have told me that your packages beat Amazon.
That's insane.
I'm like, that's nuts. And let me give you a little side perspective here. One where I could learn from you. Sam has her merch shop, right? Beauty and the Beard MI. Our local post office is not great. They're not nice. They're not kind. They're not welcoming. They're not patient. They're downright trolls, ogres, and not nice oftentimes. And that example that you just have, I've had the opposite. Now I should grease the wheels. I should do better, and I will do better. I'm learning from you. I'm always open to learning. When I bring in, let's say we had Commands Corner, same thing for Beauty and the Beard MI like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I had it and I brought it in. Sam did everything. I just brought it to the post office, huge bins and stuff. You would have thought I was the greatest inconvenience in the world. You would have thought it was like, oh, sure. Yeah, come on over. Yeah, and I just simply asked, like, do you want me to put it on the counter? Do you want me to wait in line? Do you want me to go to the side door, which I know you can just wheel in the cart and put it through the side door because that's where it's going anyway? And there was just like, it was the biggest inconvenience in the world for me to bring these packages in. And they know me, they know who I am, and they were not excited for business. They just were bummed that they had to do more work.
So that's the way it used to be. That used to be our post office.
Really?
And literally to the point where I'm not even kidding on this one. We saw Scott, the guy at the counter there. We saw him at the Demolition Derby here in Marshfield, town over. And we're at the fair, we're at the Derby, and right behind us, I get what are you guys doing here? And I turn around, it's Scott. And so we hang out and we're talking. We're like, oh man, where have you been? We haven't seen you in the shop. He's like, oh, I'm only there on Saturdays now. I transferred over to another one. And we're like, oh, okay. Well, Jess and the other girl have been taking really good care of us. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry you got to deal with her. And I was like, why? And he's like, she is just, my kids are here. I can't tell you what she is. And I was like, oh man, really? I was like, she's sweeter than hell to us, man. Like I go in there, I get hugs, I get high fives.
Wow.
She takes my stuff from around the line and scans our form and puts it back. And he's like, well, I don't know what the hell you did to win her over. He's like, she's mean to me. And I work there. And so we, it used to be like that though. And what happened was at some point, Jill, we started bringing in a lot of stuff. And Jill was like, hey, I don't want to overload you guys. And I don't want to be a pain in the butt when you're busy in here. Is there anything I can do to make your lives easier when I bring in like a bunch of stuff? And they're like, oh, well, yeah, you could use a manifest form.
That's what Jill was just saying.
She's like, a what? And they're like, it's called a scan form. Like manifest, you print it from your shipping carrier. It gives us all the labels on one SKU. So we just scan one barcode and it checks in a whole bin worth of packaging. And Jill's like, oh, okay, like we'll figure it out. So she tells me and we figure out how to get it working in our shipping system. And we show up with the form and Jill's like, I figured it out. I think, does it work? And the girl's like, look at you actually trying to help us out. All right. And she scanned it. She's like, sure did. Thanks a bunch. And then next thing she started asking questions. And then what do you guys do? And what's this? What's that? Hey, I like your shirt. And then next thing you know, it was like, we're getting orders from them. We're dropping stuff off to them. And then they're getting friendly. They feel like they're invested, like they're helping us grow the business. Yeah. And now when we're in line, like I hear what they're saying when we walk away, they're like, oh, that's one of our really good customers. Like they give us a lot of business. They send a lot of packages through us. They're like really valued customer, as we're walking.
That's cool.
And I don't know it. I think it literally came from like those people. You're right. A lot of them don't like when more work comes in, but as soon as you like do anything that shows that like you care about not making them do more work, like all of a sudden it speaks to them, I think.
That's smart. I like that. And if we can take a little pause here, our friend Brennan said, I tried to save it for today, but spilled it on Commands Corner last night. My wife is pregnant and found out we're having a girl. I'm so excited. They have 4 boys. Kept trying for the girl, and they're going to have their girl.
Dude, that is awesome. Congratulations, Brennan.
So cool.
That is awesome, man.
And then speaking of Jill here, G Squared said, just opened up my latest order yesterday. Jill, you are too kind. I promise I will get you good feedback this time. You just surprised me last time when your feedback was exactly mine before I could say.
Well, spoiler alert, G Squared, her feedback is similar on this one. It's not the final, but I do think we are sitting on what will be the final. So get prepared for more stuff in your mailbox because you're going to get more.
That's awesome. JT Steve says, big shout out to G2, aka G Squared. He said, I got some stimulator oil, diluted it with a few drops of number 7 to thin it out a little and used it as a beard oil. My grays looked younger too.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's
I bet
really
the 7
cool.
goes really well with that scent profile too.
I could see that. I could
that
definitely.
I could totally see that working.
Interesting, because I love mint. I love the citrus pine. I love citrus and mint together. I like that. And if the post office ever watches this, shout out to Jess.
Jess is awesome.
Yeah, that's Jill's girl right there. So yeah,
she is awesome.
Really, really cool. And
Joe, we got to get them some hoodies.
Oh yeah. Oh, it is hoodie season.
It's hoodie season.
No doubt. And G Squared said, I got mine on Friday and it was too quick. I had so much to do this weekend and wasn't going to be home much. So I had to send it to my work thinking I would get it this week. It came Friday at work. That's hilarious.
That is awesome.
Yeah, such a good problem to have there. I love that.
Dude, I'll
G
take
Squared
it.
said, so Nick, you are saying being a decent human and interacting and caring and helping is the secret? What a concept.
Dude, I know it's this crazy new thing that I think, more people should really give a shot. It's called like trying to make genuine connections with the people that you interact with and caring about them and that,
It's a lifestyle. That's from day one when Nick was telling me about this company is like, I just want a lifestyle. I don't want a company. I don't want numbers. I don't want to focus on this or that. I want to build a lifestyle and all that other stuff will come along with it.
Yeah, and it will.
And Leo says, that's amazing on your part, which is true. Like this stuff, like I said, that's why I wanted to make that clear when you were like, this is out of our control. I'm like, yeah, I mean, to a degree, but you definitely influenced it better than I have. I have room to learn there. And when you say that, that's actually practical advice and something I can apply right away. And Leo says, yet the post office PR needs work. Going postal is not rooted in fiction. Yeah. And I get it. They probably deal with poop heads all day. Like,
oh God.
I'm sure that that's not the most pleasant job in the world. And I get it, but there's definitely some room to grow there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like if I had, if part of my day's tasks were held up by an elderly woman counting me out pennies, I bet you eventually I'd get a pretty short fuse.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear that. And Jake
the 18th time in a day you hear, okay, 1, 2, and you're like, oh,
sorry, honey, lost count. Let me start over again.
Yeah, like, no, damn it, Nana.
Yeah, let me just pull out $1. You're good. Go.
You're good. Got you covered.
And Jake says, how many companies know where you live off the top of their head? Shows customer service. And there's a ton of you in here that Nick could tell your music taste, your coffee preference, your vehicle that you drive. I mean, not just one, not just two, but many of you in here, Nick, Jill, and even myself, been able to be on the peripheral and learn about you guys. They can name all those things off the top of your head, right? We could go through and we know where Jason lives. We know what Jason's jobs have been. We know so much about people in here. It's so cool.
Oh yeah, it's because like everyone here is friends, man.
Right. Yep. That's what
you guys know a lot of that about each other too.
Right. Yeah. It's not just us. Yeah. Very true. It's definitely a community in every sense of the word, which is beautiful. Awesome. And G Squared said, also, I got number 21 for the first time and really like it. Take this as a compliment. I get a bit of smoky meat smell, almost like I'm cooking over a fire that's camping. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. We get that a lot from people. People say that, like, one of the guys that buys it a lot says that he used to hang out with his buddies in a pole barn and on Friday nights and smoke meats and put them in the smoker for the weekend. And after people had kids and people got married and people moved, like they no longer do it. And he said it had been like 10 years since they had done one of their Friday night, smoker hangout. And he says he put number 21 in and he like was immediately transported back to hanging out around a fire with pork in the smoker and scotch in the glass, hanging out with his buddies. And he's like, dude, every time I put it on, I almost chuckle because I can hear my friends around me laughing. He's like,
that's cool.
He's like, it literally brings back a memory. So yeah, no, a lot of people get that sort of, because it does have a little bit of a roastiness to it.
Yeah.
Right.
And the wood, it comes from wood, right?
Yeah, the gua sha wood. Yeah, the gua sha wood gives you kind of like that smoky, and it's also a little roasty because of the way they process it. They do, they do heat it, and it kind of gives it a roastiness to it.
Yeah, exactly. And Jay Spears says, speaking of beard butter, I got a quick walk-in tattoo Friday and have been using Dr. Nick's butter on it. And next week, I'm getting my Ghostbusters tattoo.
Nice, dude.
Nice.
I'm in the process of healing a tattoo right now with our beard butter.
I was just going to say real quick, story time. Nick, tattoo, go.
Okay, on it. So I have a confession for everyone out there about all these tattoos that we always talk about. And being all, tough guy, getting tattoos and things. I tapped out of my first tattoo session last week from pain, and I only made it an hour and 45 minutes into it before I tapped out. It was another foot tattoo. My left foot was getting really jealous of my right foot coming back from Costa Rica looking all cool. And it was like showing off and talking about how it was the cool foot. And then the other one was like, well, what's up with me? And so there's a crazy story that I'll lead you guys through at some point. Maybe if we have time at the end of this today, I'll dive back into it if Dan reminds me.
Yeah.
But there's an owl saved my life when I was a kid in Hawaii, oddly enough. Kind of a cool story. And I wanted some kind of a tattoo to remember Hawaii. And I thought a foot would be a good place for it. It's kind of where my roots are, right? And I spent my whole childhood walking around barefoot in the jungle in Hawaii. So I wanted to get something there. So I went with an owl. And my buddy Bob Kane down at Stinky Monkey drew me up a really cool stylized owl face for the front of my foot. And right on the top of the foot, yep, right there, Jason. And he has a really interesting style of tattooing. He's the one that did like my whole leg piece. And, he does this stuff called, I think he calls it thatching, where you move the gun faster than the needle is moving in and out. So it kind of skips.
Oh,
and it gives you like this stippled kind of a look where it looks like shaded, pencil.
Yep.
That was first time for everything. I've never tapped out of a tattoo before. I've sat for 10 hours before. Didn't tap out of that one on my back. I sat for a long time on my chest. This one, finally at an hour 45, I'm like, all right, you had a good place to pick this back up later? And he's like, yeah, after this right here, I suppose I could. Why? And I'm like, you're done. I'm done. I'm good. And he's like, really? You?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah. He's like, well, I don't blame you. He's like, the foots are terrible. He's like, I have both my feet tattooed. He's like, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. He's like, it was awful.
Now, did it get so for me, I tapped out nowhere near the foot. And I tapped out when it was like 6 or 7 hours in, but everything on my body became inflamed. It was like my body went into shock. He wasn't touching my arm that he was tattooing. He touched the other arm, the bare naked arm, and it would just be like raging pain on that arm. It was the
that means your
weirdest
body, your nerve system is just, your sympathetic nerve system is just shot.
It was crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. He went to like move me and I'm like, oh, wow. Whoa, wait. So that I tapped out at that point too.
Yeah. I didn't have much of a choice on this one, man. It was just, he was going, the problem was he started to go back into shade in between the lines that he made. And so he was going like right next to and across areas that were already open. And I had already back-teamed twice at that point. Like I back-teamed at like an hour 15, and then I back-teamed again at like an hour and a half. And I'm like, yeah, there's not enough back-team in the world.
That was when I told you about my tattoo, the last one that had trouble healing and stuff. It was because he started on the spot and then went back over it on the same session. That's what got me. That's what sent the whole body into shock.
That was the next day, wasn't it? Didn't he go back in the next day over that spot?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's what got you.
Yep. It was the next day. And then, like you said, the back team did nothing when my nerves were in shock. It didn't do anything for it. So,
dude, yeah, that's the way it goes. I was going to pull up a quick photo here and show at least the current state. Let's see.
I put a reminder in so we can hit it at the end, but G Squared said, an owl, were you choking on a Tootsie Pop? Did the owl come swipe it and take 3 bites? Please say yes.
It was a poisonous lollipop.
Yeah. And then he said, regardless, I want to hear the story. I bet it's a hoot.
This is getting good.
Yeah. And while you're pulling that up, Yo-Yo says, hey, Dan, anybody you approve that makes a melatonin topical within an oil or something? I actually know, I know a ton about ingredients and topically applied. Ton. Like, that's what I do for fun is research that stuff. I don't know anything about melatonin applied topically. I've never heard of it used in a beard product. I'm testing a pretty bizarre ingredient in a beard product right now, but it's not melatonin. So no, do I recommend anybody that? No, I don't. Just because I don't know enough. I'm ignorant on that topic.
I did not know melatonin was actually bioavailable through like transdermally.
That's the first I have heard anything about it. So I don't know. I think he asked last night and I didn't have the chance to address it, but nope, my knowledge there is 0.
Well, let's see here. I got this up here. Let me share my screen.
Yeah. And G Squared has two comments on counting money. He said he was a teller at a credit union for a year. Trust me, it's just as tedious counting pennies as it is counting out literally $300K in cash for a person.
I bet you it is. It's just slapping down hundreds.
And when he said, when you have to make a cash transaction that large, you have to go away in a different room and count it a minimum twice.
Wow.
I believe
So
it.
you got to like count it, put it through the machine, and then so you got to like count it manually and then put it through the machine. And how did that change things, G Squared? Like the
Yeah.
big money counters, like do you have to count it and then put it through the machine to verify your count, or do you put it through the machine first and then verify your count
Right.
from the machine?
Right. Those are so satisfying.
They really are.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll get that picture. And then Christopher says, I ordered number 9 oil and unscented butter bundle. Smells awesome and feels great in beard. And my dog had some dry skin on her lip for months, and a couple of dabs of the butter cleared it right up.
Dude, that's awesome.
I think, remember that, Jill. Remember that. I think it's about that time, if you know what I mean.
I think it is.
It keeps coming up, man. It keeps coming up.
It does.
So many people make those comments.
And lots of people are using it on their dogs.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Oh, man. Is it at the top near the ankle? Is that the most painful, or down by the toes?
So a little bit of both.
Okay.
So like, hold on, let's see here. There we go. Pull this guy up. So like this area down onto the toe. First of all, I sent him a long text message planning this, and he's like, just so you know, I didn't read that long text, give me anxiety. And I was like, nah, sorry. I was like, I don't know how to communicate what I was trying to do without being wordy. And so he gets down here on the toe with his liner, and I was like, God, fine. No more long text messages. I'm sorry. But so this is all, obviously the top's not finished. The bottom sides aren't finished. Like all this isn't finished. So the face is basically finished. And he's going to work on feathers and stuff like this and little wispies and stuff that he's putting down on the bottom. But that's
beautiful.
basically what we ended up kind of going with is that guy.
I love it. Yeah, it looks really good.
He does a great job, man. He doesn't do much grayscale stuff, and I don't know why. His grayscale is gorgeous.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right, guys, what an intro. What a start. Love and appreciate you all. But today, some of you want to hear some stuff. You want to hear some news, some sneak peekage, not available, not launching, but just a little bit of planning ahead here. Dr. Nick's has some stuff in order for the fall, which is here upon us and into the winter, right? AKA beard season. So Nick, I'm gonna let you take it, and I'll jump in and out where needed. But what are some things that you can, without getting in too much trouble with Jill? We want to keep you safe over there. You do have to go home to her after this. So without getting in too much trouble with Jill, sorry, Jill. And by the way, guys, if you forgot, please hit the thumbs up. We would love and appreciate that. What are some things that you can show the people on a little sneak peek? Because Mr. BK says, I'm ready, in his SpongeBob voice.
Perfect. Well, I have my little book of secrets here.
Ooh.
So we got let's pop it open and see what we can run through. We have a Q3 full of fun releases. So everything I'm going to talk about today, you guys are going to ask when this, when that, how much this, when this. I don't know. What I can say is that all of this is happening seasonally appropriate for the scents that we're releasing, and they will all happen before the end of the year. And anything that is holiday related, we are also going to have released no later than Black Friday coming out. And our goal there is to do a nice big Black Friday sale, but we're also going to probably pair it with a launch. So
wow, love it.
We will probably have new products available that will also be included on the Black Friday sale. We're not going to include them. We're not going to exclude them.
Wow. And I hope that you guys let that resonate a little bit, because when you do a launch, people are going to buy regardless. And Nick knows that. I'm not telling him anything foreign here. And so oftentimes companies will try to avoid deals and sales, big ones at least, when they do a launch, because they're going to sell either way. You're saying you understand this and you are going to include those in on the sale?
I am. And the reason we're doing that is we want people to be able to take advantage of free shipping for, their holiday shopping. And whenever you get sale prices, obviously that drives down the, your $50 limit for free shipping.
Yeah.
And we figure if we can get some new products in there, that way someone can try something new, plus they can take advantage of the sale and get things that they might need for later in the season for gifts or for themselves or whatever else. So
love that.
It's just one of those things where we have enough releases coming out where we know they're going to be fun between now and then, and maybe one even in December. We don't want to play the game, so
I love that.
We just want to make it available and make it a truly good deal.
That's amazing. I hope you guys heard. That's phenomenal. I didn't know that. This wasn't anything like planned or talked about. So super cool. Love that.
It's going to be really good. And so All right, what we got, the first one that we have came from an idea I had literally while standing in the shower talking to Jill through the door, and we had just had Thai food the night before, and
no story ends that well in this, Nick.
this one does.
Okay.
So there I was 12 hours after 5-star spiced Thai food. Yeah.
That's like, you'll never believe what happened. It's not meant. Yeah.
Well, I bet you I will.
Yeah. It's so true.
So I was like, man, there's something about that Tom Kha soup that's like still just like I can still remember what I was thinking when I smelled it. And it was just lemongrass and ginger and basil and all of those scents came out. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, why haven't we played with any like Thai menu based scent profiles? So one of the ones that you're going to see coming out pretty quick here is a lemongrass ginger beard oil that also has a little bit teeny hint of basil in it. So this is, you're going to get, oh man, I mean, I've been testing this stuff and it is absolutely insane. Like lemongrass ginger in a beard oil. It sounds a little out there, but man, guys, it is an absolute winner. Like I love it. And I think it's pretty unique. I haven't really seen much else out there in the market that's going after like the Asian spice essential oil market for beard oil.
No, not even in the same like hemisphere. No.
Yeah. So get ready for a few more of those too, because I like some of the things that we got to play with, some of these Far East essential oils.
Okay.
And some of them are really, really cool, man. Some of the stuff they have from like Mongolia and some of the stuff you get from Thailand and Vietnam. Some of the stuff that you get there is just so far out of our normal scent spectrum that it's just really, really cool stuff to play with.
That's
so
awesome.
Lemongrass ginger with a hint of basil coming right at you.
Love that. That's going to be, would you say it's like how would you describe it as like a scent? Is it earthy? Is it sweet, spicy, a little bit of everything? What you got?
I would say it's a little citrusy and it's a little earthy. And the overtone that you get is herbal.
And what?
So it's citrusy, earthy, herbal.
And I bet you that acts as a really nice mosquito repellent. Lemongrass is a very potent mosquito repellent. What's an essential oil? Not a fragrance oil, but essential oil. And then basil, I know, can be helpful with that as well.
Yeah, it's actually almost all insects, to be honest with you. All insects hate lemongrass. They hate lemon seed oil. They don't like eucalyptus. They don't like ginger.
Or lemon of eucalyptus oil. Yeah.
They don't like garlic, but no one wants a garlic.
No,
I don't think.
Thank you.
Let's not do red onion. Let's not do garlic. No,
thank you.
Might stay away from those.
Yeah,
we're trying to
sound good here.
So
I'm excited.
This is going to be a winner. And now, so the next one that you guys are going to see coming out, and actually, you're probably going to see this one first. Probably should have started with this one. These are in no chronological order, clearly. So the next one, which is actually the first one, is going to be chai spice. So chai spice is going to be an absolute winner for fall. It's got some vanilla overtones in there. It's sweet, it's musky, it's spicy. It's got that little bit of kind of the sweet vanilla overtones that ride on top of it. Think of it like a chai latte, right? It's got that creaminess from the milk. It's got the spiciness from the chai blend. It's got a little bit of vanilla in there to kind of smooth it out a little bit. But the chai spice, just in time for fall, is happening and will likely be here to stay, depending on how it does.
These are super unique, like out there. My brain can't even really process, so I'm excited to try.
Oh, dude, chai spice. She just put that newest one on her hands and had me smell, cinnamon, cardamom, clove, and nutmeg. I mean, talk about fall. I mean, that's fall right there.
Interesting. It sounds like the opposite of my preference, but Jill has a way of mixing some things, and especially essential oils, in a way that surprises me.
Yeah, because I bet you're used to smelling a lot of this stuff as a fragrance oil.
Correct.
So like cinnamon in fragrance oil is like hard cinnamon candy shell smelling stuff.
Correct.
And it smells like Red Hots.
Yes.
Natural essential oil cinnamon smells nothing like that at all. And like if you took cinnamon sticks and boiled them in a pot of water, that's more close what you would get out of the scent of an essential oil cinnamon.
Okay.
It's way less intense. None of the spicy hints to it really either. And then cardamom has a really interesting kind of earthy smell to it. Very warm smelling. It's relaxing. It smells really nice.
Awesome. Chai spice beard oil.
Hell yeah. Lemongrass ginger. We got the chai spice. And then as soon as G Squared signs off on it, along with Jill, and they're both happy with it, we're going to have the cold brew. We are going to have cold brew beard oil. We played with the name Nitro. We played with cold brew coffee. We might actually just still throw the coffee in there. So it's, makes a little more sense if people don't recognize just the words cold brew. But essentially, cold brew coffee is this close. It's right now, we like our coffee black. And right now, this is smelling a little creamy, a little too sweet, and we don't want that. And what we're doing is we're buffering that real acidic, cloying coffee, Arabica essential oil, which is very, very intense, right?
Okay.
I mean, sharp notes to it, but let me tell you, like
bitter.
Yeah, very.
Okay.
And it's like quarter percentages of alterations in this blend make it a completely different oil. So we can tell that this one's going to be one that varies a little bit, just like your cup of coffee from day to day is going to be slightly different than the day before, and we're okay with that. So I think we're pretty close on that one.
Dialed in question here, Justin. Love this. Using the mantra of the company. He said, are the new scents, are they going to follow the mantra? We build products that are on your face, not in your face, right? He's like, are these going to be louder? Are these going to be, what's the take on that?
So I would say that upon application, the lemongrass ginger is just as strong as like a number 7. The chai spice probably has as much oomph as like the peppermint bark did, where it's a little more,
Yeah.
a little stronger.
Yep. I can see that.
And the cold brew is probably right there with it. What I will say is that although they might be a little more strong going on, 2 hours later, they dissipate the same way because they're essential oils and they oxidize. So they very much follow that same mantra. And Justin, we would be doing like a dedicated stream to the fact that, hey, we're doing something way different if we ever did anything different than that. So if that ever happens, don't worry, I will definitely call it out.
Yeah, love that. Awesome.
So then the list keeps going.
What?
This is, we're only about halfway down this list. So, we got by popular demand, we've taken the essential oil blend that is in our growth stimulator, and we have moved it to our normal carrier blend.
Gimme. We need testing on this first, Jill. We need testing on this first immediately, Jill.
Oh yeah. And then I might as well drop it here just to get everyone really good and excited too. The peppermint rosemary is not just going to be a beard oil. It's also going to be a beard wash. It's also going to be a beard conditioner. It's also going to be a body wash, and it's also going to be a balm stick. So we are going to have oil, balm, beard wash, beard conditioner, and body wash all being released in peppermint rosemary because it was just such a big hit. And you guys wanted it. So
that's unbelievable.
In typical Dr. Nick's fashion, you ask for it enough times. Eventually we'll stop saying no and we'll start saying maybe. And then eventually we'll say it's coming.
Oil, balm, wash, conditioner, body wash.
Yep. 5 new SKUs coming out with one profile across them.
Yes. Awesome, Jill. I knew you would. I was being a little bit silly there, but that unbelievably excites me, you guys. Like, if you guys think I love number 7, if you guys think I love IPA, watch out. Holy crap. And these are essential oils. So the benefits you get of the growth properties are literally in all of these products. Holy crap.
They're all still there. All still there. And then I promise when we release a head shampoo and head conditioner, it'll work its way into that too, because people need that in their scalps.
Yes, please. Oh my gosh. I didn't know this, you guys. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Exciting stuff here.
Lost my breath. Oh my gosh. In the wash. Come on.
Dude, you know how good that's going to be in the shower?
Unreal, man. Unreal.
Ooh.
Yeah, Jill, just throw it in one of the big body wash containers for me. I don't even need a label. You know, just, oh my
Oh yeah,
God.
just throw it on in there.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Wow, I can't wait for that. Holy crap. You
It's gonna be
didn't
it's
lead
gonna
with
be a
that one. That's
banger.
wild.
That's gonna be so damn good. I can't wait.
And Leo, I'm assuming this will be the same formulation. He would not change for the scents on this.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be our normal carrier blend.
Yep.
Yep, normal carrier blend and normal formulation on all the shower products as well.
Yeah, and Jason, remember, currently right now the beard butter is unscented, even though the feedback and the ideas are spinning and considering scents for the future. But right now it's the unscented beard butter.
So I'll talk about that for a minute. We have been testing, and I'm not going to share too much, but what I will say is that we have been testing scented butters. And what you can, there's a couple of interesting things about it, and the things we're experiencing now, just sorry for the disappointment, could make it so there is never a scented butter. If we figure out the challenge here, there could be. I'll tell you what the challenge is though. Because our butter, this is what everyone loves about it. It's what I love about it. It is all natural. It's a full-bodied butter, and it does not use any emulsifiers or stabilizers, no waxes. And because of that, it is a very delicate formulation.
Yeah.
And we know this because of shipping issues that have happened, other things that have happened. But man, it's worth it because it's so damn good.
And especially at the beginning, there was lots of trial and error, lots of dialing it in. This wasn't just simple, put a butter, put your carrier blend. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that in a negative way.
Turn on your mixer and away you go. Like, that's not it. We start with giant blocks of raw butters, and there's a bunch of different ones, and then a whole list of oils, and those all get blended. Those get heated to a certain strike temperature before you add in others, certain amounts of mixing, a very particular multi-facility rollout for the curing process. It takes 48 hours to set up between two of those. It's a process.
Yeah.
And what we found was that the essential oils did a couple of things. One, the acids, the alpha acids in the IPA, for example, it melted some of the butter structure because of the alpha acids that are good for your skin and they're good for exfoliation. Those alpha acids in hops are fantastic for you from a health perspective.
Right.
They do not play well with solidified oils. They liquefy them. And then we came into the other problem where we realized something else that is actually probably going to be the sword in the belly of this experiment. And what it is that if we used fragrance oils, if you use one company for your fragrance oils, every single one of those fragrance oils, regardless of scent, is molecular identical.
Correct.
They are the exact same.
Always.
They are always the same. That's the point, right?
Yep.
No matter what something's scented, they're always going to react the same way in your products.
Yep.
Every one of our essential oils is completely different from a molecular structure standpoint.
That's nature.
Right. So if we figure out how to make it work with the balance of one blend of essential oils, it's not going to work the same way for the next one or the next one or the next one or the next one. We would literally need a separate process and timeline and recipe for every single one of our butters that has a different scent profile, and we're just not sure it's viable.
Right.
And so if I had to pick, and I think you guys, and Dan, I know where you sit on this, I think, is if you had to pick super high quality butter, you love it to death, the best butter you've ever used, your beard's never felt better, or a butter that's okay, isn't quite as good as that, but has scent in it already. Which one are you going to take?
You're taking the better butter.
I'm taking the better butter, and I'm going to add some oil to it if I want it to smell nice.
Yep, absolutely.
Like 100%, all day, twice on Sunday.
Yep. And the difference there, and you guys are like, well, if it's that simple to add oil, how can you not do it? The difference is you guys get the completed final product of that butter. It's stable. It's amazing. And then you're adding oil as you melt it down. The melting's not a problem. The melting's very simple. If they wanted to ship you a melted butter, that would be easy. It's the solidification, the consistency, that's the challenge. And having it be nature, having it be natural, on top of their butter being name a company that uses saw butter and aloe butter. I'll wait. It's impossible to compare this to other companies. And I know people naturally think like, oh, I love this company because they have scented butter and they match this, that. What makes this butter special also makes it challenging. but I do
Right.
believe it's worth it, especially with all the feedback that you guys have given about your beards, about your dogs, about your skin, about your mom's skin, your kid's skin. That feedback is phenomenal. Like absolutely
Um,
phenomenal.
I see a good question here from Justin.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll read it out loud here. With the new sense, sounds like amazing man stuff, and it is. Is the company retiring any sense? And no, we're not. We are adding. We are not modifying.
I couldn't even imagine what the good problem is. Like, what would you cut? I mean, people would riot.
We can't cut anything.
No,
Like,
there's no way.
no. Like, can you imagine it coming on here one day being like, all right, guys, well, we decided to move away from number 7 because it was getting a little boring. Like, we would not have happy people.
Right.
We'd have flames and pitchforks outside of our front door.
Yeah, because normally it's like driven by numbers, but you guys are so balanced with your scents. There's nothing that's like similar. I mean, it's just, I mean, I guess that's not a full statement. IPA and 7 are related, but you can't cut either of those. There's no way. There's no way. Those are two of the most popular.
And if you told me to pick, like, hey, you got to have a 6-month supply or one or the other, I'm like, oh, neither. Then I guess, and I'll pick, I'll go Yule Tree. I don't know. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, you can't do that. And Leo, really good question. He said, wouldn't your beard scent be the scent of the oil when the butter is unscented? Is there something I'm missing? So essentially, Leo, when you apply a beard butter that's unscented on top of a scented oil, especially a company that's essential oils only, especially a company that's not super aggressive with their scents, it can kind of mute it a little bit. It's still going to be there. You're not off, right? It's definitely still going to be there. But to be transparent, to be honest, it does mute it a little bit. And so there's an aspect there, but literally if you add 2-3 drops of oil in hand with your butter, melt it down, now you have that scent in the butter.
Right. And that makes a big difference.
And you don't have to buy 6 different butters. You just buy one and add your oil to it. It's a money saver, you guys. It's a money saver.
Well, and it's a money loser for us, right? I mean, think about that. We're like, if we did this across all of our scents, we could automatically have like 8 new SKUs.
Yeah.
And having variety is the name of the game with online retail. But this is us definitely looking at quality and looking at what you guys know and want over an expanded product line or over expanded revenues. We'd much rather see you guys add stuff to it. And I mean, everyone's saying kind of the same thing. Like Darian, he's like, "Yep, keep my butter." Like, "Yep, take the butter."
Butter is truly unique. Yeah, all of them. I love it. And Tynamo has a good question. Numbers, or in my ear, it sounded like you were giving a little hint at names as you were dropping the name of them. And you don't have to share, of course, but any response for Tynamo here?
Yeah, we've been talking about it maybe coming for so long that I'm definitely I'll talk about it now. Is we are moving away from the numbering convention. So the numbers are going away. For example, like number 21 is going to be called sweet smoke. We're going to move to smells like that: warm spice and musk, citrus and pine. We're going to be using what we've traditionally used as scent profiles, basically as the names. So there's not really going to be a name for per se, right? Like the coffee scent that we're coming out with, it's going to be cold brew coffee, right? And so there might be a period of time where like the ones that used to have a number, we might still leave the number on the label, like how you see highway signs change. It goes to highway, exit 30, old exit 12, whatever it's, and then they keep those up until the sign gets damaged. And then when they replace the sign, they don't put old number 12 up again because it's been a couple of years and people know it as exit 30. So we're basically going to do something similar to that, but it's going to help with a lot of things. It's going to help with, a lot of that stuff. Oh, and Jill's saying, don't forget the last one. Don't worry. I'm not even done with the list of scents yet. Don't worry.
A lot of stuff behind the scenes. If anybody understands stuff, SEO. So for example, would number 7 be something along the lines of citrus and pine?
Yes. Sorry. I thought you were continuing. Yes.
Oh, no, sorry.
No, it's going to be something like citrus and pine for sure. And I'm trying to find my little notes that had this on here, but yeah, it's going to be whatever's the scent profile on the back is likely just going to become the name on the front. And what's going to happen there also, you'll see another change as part of all this, the signature series range of products, that nomenclature is also going away. So
Love
on the
it.
front of the beard oil, it's just going to say beard oil, and that's going to say citrus, lime zest, citrus fruit, pine. So that's what it would say on the front of the bottle. There would be no scent profile on the back of the bottle since the front already has the scent. And the back's going to be nice and clean with just directions and ingredients. No other BS back there. It's going to be a really clean label design. And the side of the bottle is going to have the scent profile on it along with the logo on the side. So when you turn your bottle sideways, you can see all your scent profiles lined up there on your shelf. And we're doing some neat colors.
Awesome. Is that sounding like by the end of the year?
Oh, yeah. And actually, the labels we're ordering now, you guys will see, it'll be a little, we had to pick either like holistic rollout or maybe incremental rollout. So we're testing a couple of things at once, right? We're testing the new label design, which we're going to shoot through our existing label printer, our existing partner. We're going to do the new design on the same material. Then once we know it works and we kind of get a couple of releases under our belt, we're going to move those new designs over to our new label printer and have them rerun through every product. So my goal is to have, you'll probably see some stuff with one label, some stuff with another between now and the end of the year. It might be a little awkward.
Transition.
But then by the end of the year, beginning of next year, you'll see the new labels will be across all the shower products, all the oils, balms, butters, sanitizer. Sanitizer is no longer going to be called Shelter and Face. It's going to be on-demand beard sanitizer spray. Yes. And so you will be able to get, it's going to be, we're getting rid of some of the cheekiness on the branding. That was fun for a while, but it has led to some confusion. And I think what sells us right now is not, being humorous. I don't think the shtick of what Dr. Nick's used to do is what's getting us attention now. It's the quality of the products. It's our interaction with you guys. It's customer service and it's quality. And we want our labels and our packaging to convey that, right? That we're going to be clean, transparent. We're going to be high quality and dedicated to our community of people, which is this is what you guys have asked for, is more transparent packaging.
Dude, and you guys, there so many of these things have been worked on by Nick and Jill in the background for a long time, and like there's layers and steps that go into all this stuff, and it's so exciting to see it coming together. I couldn't be more pumped, man. This Q4 is going to be so dang fun, and I know Jill wanted a reminder. I know you had it. What's our last scent that we have here, Nick?
Well, it's actually two. One of them is that we're going to do our very, very best, but we're having a bit of a supply chain issue. But the other one is not a maybe. It's a for sure. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's going to be a Black Friday release. It's going to come out right before the holidays, and it's Yule Tree and Peppermint Bark.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Yule Tree's coming. And you'll be able to stock up on it because we're going to release it and get a nice sale behind it. You guys are going to be able to take advantage of that. Come on sale Yule Tree. Like if that's not sold out by Monday after Black Friday, I'm going to be shocked.
This is, obviously keep me in the loop as you would anyway. This is going to be a video. This is like, let me turn the world upside down because you guys, if you haven't, you need to try these. So I'm going to, just any of my viewers out there, I'm going to go full force because that's exciting. Holy crap.
So here's what I did. And here's what I have written down. And this is up for debate still, but I think the fairest way to do this is when we stock up on Yule Tree and Peppermint Bark, we're not going to exclude them from Black Friday, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take half of our stock and I'm going to list it in inventory for Black Friday. I'm going to let that stock sell out if that's what it's going to do. And if you see Yule Tree or Peppermint Bark sold out on Thanksgiving weekend, just know come Monday, Cyber Monday, it's going to be back in stock. And so once the sale madness ends, we're going to restock for normal pricing going forward. We just want to make sure that it's not just eaten up completely by a sale.
Right.
But I think that's the fairest way to do it. Don't exclude it, but put a decent amount of stock towards it. Let the sale do what it's going to do with it. And then normal pricing resumes and all the stock basically is released. So it's a way to kind of control our exposure a bit, but still give everyone a really good deal.
Right. And just so you know, I will make sure it does sell out that day, not for any like bad reasons, just because I literally want people to experience these. And you guys know my love for Yule Tree, and Peppermint Bark was a creeper. It creeped on me. My first impression was good. Like I always tell you, always say, and I'm like, my first impression of Yule Tree was good. You know, it was really good. Or of Peppermint Bark, it was good. And then I was like, okay, maybe I kind of want Peppermint Bark. And then I started wearing, I'm like, I kind of crave peppermint bark. Like, oh my gosh, this is really nice. It's like,
and then you
this
find yourself like an hour later being like,
yeah.
oh, man,
And
that's good.
it's like a natural cacao. It
Yeah.
has got a little bit of that mintiness, and it's really nice. And the natural part was different to me. You know, it was new to me. I'm used to the mint and the chocolate, like bam, in your
Yeah,
face.
like an Andes mint, you know, or something. Yeah.
And I like those.
Yeah.
But this one was like, it's not what my brain was computing. And then, like I said, it was literally like, I kind of want to wear some more peppermint bark. And then I was like, where's my peppermint bark? Oh my God. It was nice.
Will it just be Yule Tree, or do I get my wish too? So I don't know if you're trying to make me say it or if you're trying to make me not say it, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
It's her fault if this is wrong.
I
said it's her fault if you do something wrong here.
Oh yeah, I mean we have witnesses everywhere. That was confusing.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean everyone saw it, Jill. Yule Tree is also going to be in all the shower products.
Oh snap!
Oh yeah!
Wow!
Yeah, beard wash, beard conditioner, body wash. It's away you go. So you're going to have those 3 shower products available in Yule Tree along with an oil.
Oh my! Is this Christmas?
It feels like it.
It feels like it. Oh
man,
God. I didn't
it's going to be quite the end of the year here.
Oh my goodness. She said, my dude. Oh, okay. So quick run through again. Black Friday release of Yule Tree and Peppermint. Yule Tree is going to be an all product lineup. The Peppermint Rosemary coming over from the growth stem is going to be an oil in all product lines. And then you're going to have a beard oil of cold brew coffee, more on the black side of coffee. There's a chai spice that's going to have all sorts of spiciness, nutmeg and clove and cardamom in there. Ooh. And you're going to have a lemongrass ginger beard oil with just a touch of basil in there.
And you know what? And just for people in this stream too, I almost want to do it. And we'll, when we release that, we'll talk about it again, but I'm damn close to saying it. We have that money back guarantee for people that are first time buyers. And I want to say to people in the stream that if they wanted to try that lemongrass ginger and they weren't quite sure, I'll say to just send us an email and we'll get you out some samples so you guys can try it and not be feeling like you're taking a risk because you can't return it if you don't like it. So let us know if you need it when you get another order through, if you want to try it. Drop us an email when you put another order in, and we'll go ahead and slip a sample of that in there for you whenever we get that released. So if you're ever curious about it, but you're like, that's way far out of my comfort zone, I promise you're going to like it. Like if you like Thai food, for example, you will like this beard oil. And so I want to, I'll help you prove it.
That's so cool, man. That is so cool. Holy crap. We're going to need some time to decompress here. But before we go, I would be remiss if I did not ask you about how did an owl save your life, Nick?
Oh, dear God. Well, we only have a minute, but I'll try to cram it into 2 minutes. You guys can stay like a minute late.
Yeah, we got like 4.
So in Hawaii, there's these brown owls, they're all over the place.
And you just see them out in the wild?
Oh, yeah. And there's a certain breed of them. They're called Nui owls. I forget Nui something owls. I forget the exact Pau Nui owls, something like that. And I forget the Hawaiian word for them. But in Hawaiian folklore, a white owl is supposed to appear as a spiritual protection, right? It's a protective spirit. Is the white owl. And so they're not normal in nature. I'm sure there's albinos out there, but it's like a spiritual being, right? And so one day it was me and like 5 friends. I was probably the youngest at the time at like 15. The rest of us were 16, 17, 18. And my friend was driving. We're in a conversion van. We were going out to the South Shore of Hawaii, to this place, Kauai, called Polaholi. And no radios work out there. It's behind a big crater. It's really secluded. It's very, very cool. Yeah, the Pueo. And so they basically, it's a really remote spot. So we're in a conversion van, 2 seats up front. The rest of us just piled in the back. And we're driving out there at night to go camping. There's like these pavilions kind of set up. There's no utility or anything out there, no running water, but it's kind of at least a shelter. And so we're driving out there through the sugarcane fields. You got to turn off the main road, drive on a dirt road through tall, grassy looking sugarcane. And all of a sudden, this damn bird comes flying down in front of us and lands right in the road in front of this van that we're in. It sits there and like flaps its wings and lands. And so we start kind of flashing the lights and honking the horn and get it inching forward, getting it to move, and it flies away. And my friend was like, I think that was an owl. And he's like, we're like, I don't know. And so we keep going, and this owl comes back, and it lands in front of the truck again. We slam on the brakes, and we start inching forward, and it actually hops towards us this time with its wings out. And we're like, what the hell's this thing doing? We're like flashing. We're teenagers, so we're being idiots. We're like flashing the lights, honking the horn, inching forward, and scaring it away. So we scare it away. And this happens one more time. So it happened a total of 3 times driving down the road. And we get there, start setting up camp. We're moving around, and we're getting firewood together, and it starts dumping down rain when like none was in the forecast for that night. We're like, what the hell? Where did this come from? And it just isn't stopping. So we're like, all right, guys, we're going to call it. This is just not working out. Like, let's just pile up and let's just go hang out at your house. So we went, piled in, got back in the van. We're driving out to sugarcane fields, and my friend looks over. He's like, that damn bird is back. And we all look over out the window, and it's flying, kind of just coasting in the air like this along the side of the van. And we're like, what the hell is this thing doing? Why is it so interested in us? And we get to the main road, and I promise, as soon as our tires hit pavement, the bird flies away. And we're like, that was weird. And so anyway, we go back, we hang out, we party, we do all the stupid teenager stuff we were doing all night. We wake up in the morning, my friend's mom's cooking us all breakfast. Some of us are downstairs, some are upstairs, and we hear from upstairs, holy crap, guys, you need to come see this. And we all went running upstairs, check it out, and she had the news on. And at Poloholly, it had never happened before in Hawaii. It was one of the most bizarre cases they ever had. 8 people who were camping at Poloholly were shot in the heads at point blank range while they were asleep at their campsites by some deranged dude that went out there with a long rifle and shot them through their tents.
What?
And we were going to be camping there. And so my friend looks over and goes, holy crap, I bet that owl was trying to keep us from the beach. And my friend's mom looks over and she's like, what do you mean owl? And she's like, well, it's this white owl that kept like flying down in front of us and stopping the van. We had to scare it away like 3 times. And she's like, oh my God, you guys are idiots. Like that was a white owl. Like that thing was trying to, like, you don't ever get, if a white owl gets in front of you, you turn around and go the other direction. Like you don't mess with those. And we're like, oh man, we didn't know that. Like we scared it away. And she's like, that thing was trying to save your life. And that rain came, and that's what saved you guys.
Wow.
We would have been part of that whole mass casualty they had out there.
Whoa, that's crazy.
I think it was 6 people, 8 people. It was a bunch of people. It was a good group. I think it was 2 or 3 tents worth of people.
Wow. Thank you to that owl. My goodness.
Yeah. So if I had to get something on my foot to remember Hawaii by, man, it's got to be the owl that tried to save my ass. So I tell the story. The owl tried to save us. My stupidity and our stupidity almost still killed us. So, the owl's efforts were futile, but he sure as hell tried.
Right. And in the end succeeded.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy though?
That is absolutely nuts.
That's a weird one.
Nuts. That's so weird. And I know we gotta go, but that's so weird. I went on a tangent, a deep hole dive this weekend of animals saving people literally this weekend. And my favorite was this little baby toddler climbed out of their crib. They're at the top of the stairs with no gate, and it's like wood stairs going down. Their house cat jumps down in front of the baby and is pushing with its head the baby and wouldn't let the baby go down the stairs.
Wow.
Yeah, like freaky deaky stuff. And they have video and everything. And this cat is just headbutting the baby like, no, you're not. And like pushing it back to its room.
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, if you think about it, like that cat knows those stairs are dangerous.
Right.
Cat's like, if I mess up, I'm going to fall down those stairs. And I know you can't walk.
That's so nuts.
That is nuts. And they just understand they perceive so much more.
Right. And then the owl gets deep. Like, was it really there? Was it something?
That's the thing. It's because they're not supposed to exist in nature, right? So, was the owl there? I mean, was it a group hallucination? Like, we hadn't taken any of the things we were going to the beach to do yet. So, you know what I mean? Like, it was one of those. It was like one of those weird things. It's like, well, we all saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dynamo's right too. They warned you with the storm.
That's what my friend's mom said.
Whoa, I just got chilled. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in Hawaii, man, between the night marchers and, Pele, where she's appeared to people as a hitchhiker and has tested their morals and ended up saving their lives, and then they turn around in the back seat and the person there is gone because there's never anybody there.
what's that? There's a small, oh man, small mythological creature. There's like small people in Hawaii.
Menehune.
Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
study them.
Yeah, the Menehunes are really cool. I used to live right up the road in Wailua from the Menehune fish ponds. So there were these ponds. That's where they filmed the movie Outbreak. You remember that movie?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So they filmed Outbreak. And the funny thing about that is they never cleaned up and destroyed the structures. So down next to the river, there was the whole Outbreak village that was supposedly in Africa that was filmed right in Hawaii. And they left all those structures they built for that little fake village right next to the river. So you can like go and kayak and take a break and like hang out in the Outbreak village. But that is all right around all these fish ponds, the Menehune fish ponds. They fill with water. They don't grow vegetation, and you don't have to weed them because no weeds have ever regrown in the dirt. In the middle of a jungle. And so, and they didn't have
temperatures. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's like you have a grass line that looks like it's edged, and things just stop growing, like wherever the Menehunes cut their fish ponds. It's the weirdest damn thing.
That's freaky deaky.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have like a whole episode about like weird Hawaii folklore at one point.
I'm writing that down as we speak, so that could be a fun one. Yeah. All right.
Oh
Nick,
yeah.
I feel like we could be on here for a very long time, so we need to go.
Yeah, we gotta let people
Let's go ahead and tell everybody goodbye because this is blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, man. Well, hey. Guys, this was awesome. And I'll tell you, I shared a story with Dan before this started. I ended last night with tow trucks and tire stores and Ubers that lasted until about 11 o'clock at night, an hour and a half away from home. I got like 5 hours of sleep. I have not felt like a very social person today. And as always, I even told Jill, this is the one stream I know these guys don't even have the ability to bring me back to life today. I feel like hell. And I feel better. I feel great. And so thank you guys for the positive energy and just, all the kind words. Really, really appreciate it. Looking forward to these releases. I'm glad you guys are too. And we will see you right here, 1 o'clock Eastern next week, 1 o'clock on Tuesday.